let's talk about DAWs. What does it do and why would you need one? What is a DAW? Kind of a simple question, one might think, but it's something that I would have wanted someone to tell me when I was starting out. So I'm going to give you kind of a simple explanation to what a DAW is. I'm Sophie, and I'm a producer, songwriter, singer, artist, creator, and so on. I started this channel to be someone I would have needed when I started out. So I'm hoping to be your friend and educator in the music production and songwriting field, okay? Let's get into it. A digital audio workstation is exactly what it sounds like. It's a workstation that allows you to capture audio digitally. Nowadays, it's a software that you can install to your computer or even your phone or like an iPad or whatever you have. It allows you to write the music, record your music, you capture your music, and then you can further like arrange, edit, move things around, copy, paste, cut, add effects like compression, EQ, reverb, mix the music, master the music, and then like bounce it out to a file that you can share. So it's like your virtual studio where you can like produce music. Okay, so there are a variety of different DAWs out there. There are more simple ones and there are more advanced ones. So two of the more professional or like the industry standards are Logic Pro X and Pro Tools. I've used them both for years and they're amazing, both of them. I've also tried Cubase, which is another one, and there are, okay, let's bring in the list. Ableton, Studio One, Reason, FL Studio, Soundtrap, which is like a web-based DAW, and many more. They all do the same thing, which is capture your music and allow you to edit. There are slight differences between them. Pro Tools, for instance, is more focused on audio processing, like recording audio and mixing and, edit audio, compared to like Logic, which is more focused on the MIDI processing and beat making. There's just different workflows. You just need to find what suits you the best, what's best for your workflow and creative process. So what can you do with a DAW? At first glance, it looks like a spaceship, but once you get familiar with like the different windows, they're all pretty similar. Like they all have the arrange window, the different tracks, a mixing window, record, play, pause, buttons, all that stuff. So the DAWs as like softwares are basically just multi-track recorders, and you can use, let's just say, more tracks than you need for one song, like hundreds of tracks on top of each other, on like layering on each other, compared to like back in the day when you recorded to an analog recorder where you had like 4 to maximum 16 tracks and that was it. And now you have like infinite possibilities to record so many tracks, more than you need. I wouldn't say the more tracks, the better song. That's just a lie. Anyways, with your DAW, you can record audio and MIDI, and they are two different things. Audio, for example, is what I do right now. I'm recording my voice from like a sound source, which is me, into this mic, and it's getting captured in my camera right now. It converts my analog audio waveforms from my mouth, and somewhere along the way, it becomes digital information. And then you can also record MIDI information, and MIDI stands for Musical Instrument Digital Interface. And it's basically information about which note is being played, how long you're playing that note, and how fast you're pushing that note down. Like the faster or harder you push down the notes, the higher velocity. So the louder the note is going to get. And to record MIDI information, you need a MIDI controller. And this is a MIDI keyboard from Arturia. So it connects to your computer with usually USB. So when you play these notes here, it sends the MIDI information to your DAW, and you can record that information. When you have recorded MIDI information, you can also change that information in your DAW. So let's say you played the wrong note. No worries, because you can just drag that note to another note inside your DAW. And you can change like the timing, the pitch, the velocity, all of it. That is amazing for someone who maybe doesn't play instruments, or if you want to try different keys for a singer, for example. So you can just drag the notes up and down and find a key that fits the singer. Compared to like when you record audio, what you capture is what you get, basically. So if you mic a piano and a pianist is playing something, that is what you're gonna get in your DAW as waveforms and audio files. If you use Logic Pro X, for example, you get a whole sound library and stock plugins that you can just dive into and start creating immediately without purchasing any other stuff, only Logic. You get like a loop library. You can drag and drop stuff into your arrangement window. They have both like MIDI loops and audio loops. So the MIDI information then triggers a software instrument where you can actually change the sound or the instrument that's playing the thing that you just recorded. So it can be a saxophone or a drums or keyboard or a synth or MIDI guitar. Usually it doesn't sound that good, but you get the point. So if you don't like the sound, you can just change it, versus that recorded piano is still a piano. One more thing. So when you feel like you're done or you're happy with your song or your demo, you can export that whole thing into a single file, an MP3 file or a WAV file. There are a few different file formats, so that you get one file with your song that you can share to wherever, or upload it to SoundCloud or Spotify, or save in a folder with all your songs, for example. If you have any questions, or if I forgot to mention something, please comment your question. Let me know what you want to know. If you thought this video was helpful and if you learned something, please give me a thumbs up. And if you resonate with me and want to learn more about music production and songwriting, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.